Hi everybody, I'm Matt with the Art Therapy Studio.
My name's Eddie. I'm a paramedic. I work in a local emergency room.
Thanks, Eddie. So today what we're going to be doing with our art intervention is we are going to be making a torn paper collage. Now for our collage, you can use any kind of paper that you want. Here, I'm going to move mine up a little bit. Okay. So what I found, just use any items around the house. For my base sheet for my paper collage, I found some cardboard. And Eddie, what are you using for yours?
So initially I found some cardstock, but I found some other items. Do you think like playing cards would work?
Yeah,
Okay.
good idea.
I'm also just going to be using some scrap cardboard that I have.
Okay.
And just also some, maybe I could even use the duct tape that we use to tape to the cup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good idea. And I also found some other paper supplies, just some thicker sheet of black paper I found laying around. And another piece of cardboard. What you could do with this is you can even separate the cardboard.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So you can even kind of tear this in half. And then using the texture, you could do that with the cardboard.
Oh.
You could also use old toilet paper rolls or paper towel rolls.
That's a good idea.
And the old art book images I found, these are just random pictures of buildings. If you have any old art books lying around, you can use those.
So it seems that the more variety in material, the better.
Yeah. Yeah, you can definitely, if you're someone who likes more materials, more like varied materials, you can look around for anything.
Okay.
What I like to focus on with these is, like I mentioned, with the paper tearing. So as we get into making our collage, we're going to tear any of these paper materials into different sizes if you want.
Okay.
You can tear this into bigger sizes. You can get really small pieces.
Okay.
Do that. You can tear up little pieces. And another big focus of the paper tearing here is the sensory part of it. So what I mean by that is, as we're tearing the paper, any of these supplies, you can go slower than you normally would maybe work at, and kind of just feel that as you tear the paper. Go slow. You can even use, put in some breathing exercises a little bit. So what I like to do, this kind of helps calm me down as I'm tearing paper, is I tear, I inhale, and then just slowly do that. Then as I tear another sheet of paper, I exhale. So that helps with, that can calm us down a little bit. So for example, I'm going to inhale, and then exhale.
I'm going to give that a try with a fresh sheet of paper.
Okay.
Definitely a relief.
Good.
I'll tell you the good idea on this sort of cardboard. I actually find that this outer sheet of the edge of the cardboard really is very satisfying to tear. It's very crisp. It seems to be really good for me, at least.
Good. Yeah, that's one thing I like folks to tap into is, like I mentioned, the sensory part of it. So normally typically when folks look at art or use art, it's based on more of the visual part of it. So how is this going to look?
Sure.
But using this today, you can kind of use a different direction with your senses. So like I mentioned, the feel of it, just kind of going slow. Does that paper tearing feel comfortable? Is it
It does.
relaxing?
It does. It allows you to be creative, which I like, because with today, with everything being so crazy, it's nice to just take a minute, sit down, and completely just engulf yourself in an activity and just see where it goes.
I really like that point, Eddie. I like too how you mentioned with just the state of everything going on right now.
Yeah,
This is a great intervention for a word I like to use called mindfulness. So
sure.
what that means is being present in the moment, kind of
Okay.
blocking out everything that's going on in the world right now because it's everywhere.
Yes.
It's news every day. There's constant updates. When you go outside, I noticed the other day, you see empty parking lots. You see businesses closed.
Yes.
So we get a visual reminder all the time now of what's going on with the virus.
Yes.
And this is great because we can just kind of focus on this, be present in the moment, and this is our focus, not everything else.
Absolutely. And especially with everybody being on home quarantine, they seem to have an abundance of time now. This would definitely help. Also, a good activity to do with the kids. Am I right?
Yeah. And I'm even noticing as I tear the cardboard, I have to use more pressure with it.
Yes.
That's kind of relieving for me. So kind of you can tear more of an aggressive way if you want. So just like relieving it like that.
Good point. Good point.
So it doesn't have to be calm. You can go the other route, but kind of getting out that aggression also will kind of get you into a more calm states.
Even 2 layers, I would say, is pretty relieving. If you
Wow.
put 2 layers together.
Try that one. Oh, I like that.
You know, it's almost it gets you a good grip on it and just helps you just focus.
So it looks like we both have good chunk of paper here, different supplies, cardboard, things like that. What we're going to start now is using our glue.
Okay.
And what you could do is you could, if you want to lay out your collage a certain way, so you could lay out your pieces first on the base sheet that you're using, whatever it is, to kind of get the layout, or you can just apply glue randomly and put your pieces on. I would suggest working with your glue in layers. So try not to apply all your glue first across your surface, because what happens is as you work across, that's just longer amount of time that the glue has to dry.
Okay.
So you can even just work in little sections like I mentioned.
And I do like that there's different avenues that we could do this. I think me personally, it would help me best to put the glue down first and then just start placing pieces.
Yeah.
But for others, it may even help to have things more organized and plan out a specific orientation how they want it on the paper.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can work on, I like how you mentioned that, like organization, you could work on the border first if you want.
Okay.
Inside, you could start on the middle and work your way out.
Okay.
You could also do, like I mentioned, just random placements. Art doesn't always have to have a plan. It could just be like today, how we're just doing paper tearing, making something out of that. We don't necessarily have to worry about the pressure of what is this going to look like? What's the end product? You can just randomly create, and you don't have to worry about thinking of creating something. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Especially, I know, with my job as being a paramedic, you start to think of things as, what's right, what's wrong, what should I do, what should I not do. This is relieving to just be able to just do, not to think whether it's right or wrong, just to do something. You know what I mean?
I like that.
It's just very relieving to not have just an expectation, to just work and kind of see where it goes.
So we can obviously keep working on these for a lot longer.
Yeah.
Why don't we take a look at your artwork so far?
Okay.
You mind holding it up for me to see? Let's take a look. Wow. Really interesting.
You like it?
I like how yours almost has it has like a little bit of depth. Like I like with the cardboard I noticed since it's raised.
Yes.
Um, and just the variety. Oh yeah, and how you hold it. Yeah, if you hold it like that side angle, there's pieces that are
Yes.
coming up off of that too, like a little more three-dimensional. I like that.
For some reason, it just feels good to me to have it almost 3D.
Mm,
I like that the edges, so I didn't fully stick down my whole pieces. I kind of just stuck the center and let the edges curl up.
hmm
I just like the way that looks and that feels.
Great. And mine, I liked using the feel of the glue. Obviously, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Um, I found just some old images from an old coloring book,
Okay.
just some different buildings, images like that,
I
and then
like that.
just some black construction paper I had, and then I like the cardboard because when you like you mentioned tearing off that top layer, it adds this really neat that textured effect,
Yes.
and that could be more to add like visual to your piece, or just you can even just get in just the feel of that. How do those ridges feel? Things like that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I really liked. I think my favorite was putting the glue on with my fingers. I like that a lot.
Yeah, me too. And I have to say, one of my favorite parts is the fact that, we both did the same project, but we came up with very different looking finished products. So
Yeah,
I seem to have a lot of blank space, whereas you connected your pieces and filled it in.
yeah, good points. Yeah, it definitely adds to someone's uniqueness as
Yes.
far as how they like to place different pieces of art. That's a great point. I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say before we wrap up, thanks Eddie so much for joining me today. I'm glad you had a enjoyable time with the artwork. And for anybody at home, like I mentioned, all the supplies are pretty easy to find. Hopefully, just things you can just find around the house. And the homemade glue recipe, it's like I mentioned, very easy to make. It's non-toxic. It's safe for the kids. Um, and I'm glad I got to work with everybody today. Um, and I hope everybody has a good rest of the day. Thanks, Eddie.
Thanks, Matt.
Bye bye.